did you know, Will, that seniors scams are on the rise? Fraudsters deploy new tactics and technologies. They're using technology to scam seniors out of money, and it's getting worse. And I'm not happy about it, to be quite honest. This is from Boston Globe. And basically what's going on is people are calling up young people are calling up old people, telling them they need their social security number, telling them they need money, they're in trouble. Some of them are claiming to be their grandchildren. They're claiming to be their grandchildren in trouble. I don't know if you could believe this. Well, and they say part of the reason that seniors are such a target is because they're lonely, Jack. Because they're waiting for a phone call that, like, they feel like when the phone call comes through, they don't want to let it go. They're like, they almost want to believe it to a certain degree that someone has reached out to them, that someone's trying to help them. They love the idea, so they go along with it. And it's not just over the phone. It happens in the email also. So there's a couple of different scams that go on here. One of them, like a Bank of America scam. They send you the original email, like there's a problem with your account. We need to get some new details from you, until they eventually get to the point of getting the cash from you. They're targeting specifically the population over 65 years because they're the most susceptible. Most of it is the robocall stuff. So it's sending out these boatload of calls, and then a human's only coming on the line once somebody picks it up. And the number of robocalls jumped from 29 billion to 48 billion in the past 2 years. Can you get a sense for the scale of that? The number of calls going out, 29 billion up to 48 billion. I mean, this thing almost doubled in 2 years. And the scale of it is bananas on its own. 48 billion? What are we doing? Then in terms of the reports for the fraud, it climbed from 325,000 people reporting having been defrauded of their money in 2001 to 3 million people last year. So 10x on that front. I'm on Boston Globe where it was reported, which is, yeah.
This one?
It's the name of the article is Senior Scams Proliferate as Fraudsters Deploy New Tactics and Technologies. Jesus. And so 10x, you go up 10x from 2001 to now on the number of reports, but they think it's actually even bigger because a lot of people are so embarrassed when they get defrauded that they don't even report it. They're just too embarrassed to report that they got scammed out of their money. Financial losses totaled 1.48 billion in 2018, and victims over 70 years old lose much more money on average. They're more susceptible. So there's a graph on the page if you scroll down, Will. It showcases how the average fraud case for someone who's over 80 years old is substantially bigger than somebody that's younger. Even if you're 70 to 79, you're still, far less likely to be defrauded out of a big amount of money. 80 plus, $1,700, which is a lot of money for somebody that's that old. Like, this whole thing is very rude.
Yeah, this is like depressing to hear. Because it's like they're not hurting anyone. They're just like living their life and just relaxing, and then all of a sudden they just get scammed.
Big time. It's it showcases kind of, I mean, it's obviously younger people doing this. It ain't old people scamming old people. It's younger people doing this. They know they have an advantage over these people. And look, man, at some point you decide this is the avenue you want to go down. Like, it's a lot. It's a huge scale now. This isn't like one person stealing a purse. When you're talking about billions of calls going out, this is an enterprise now. You're talking about $1.5 billion defrauded in 2018. You're talking about an industry. This is industry scale now.
Yeah, I feel like there should be a startup for this to counteract these scams. Some sort of like phone filter or something,
Well, yeah,
screen some calls.
maybe an app on your phone. Like we've seen certain phones that are able to identify, and certain apps actually that are able to identify calls that might be problematic or might be associated with fraud or scams. Pixel call screen feature. Of course, these guys, they keep trying to modernize their approach as well in spoofing the numbers that they're using, so they can make it look like the call came from a number that it didn't. Now, within this article, they caught this one guy, for example. He was standing in a supermarket trying to spend $2,500 on gift cards. Listen to this, okay? Last month, a pair of Swampscott police officers were dispatched to a local Stop and Shop to rescue an older man. The man was rattled. A stranger had called to warn that his social security number was compromised and he needed to pay $2,500 to protect his identity. The man had withdrawn the money from a nearby bank and was trying to convert it into gift cards as the caller instructed. A watchful supermarket manager alerted the police. So this person is on the phone the whole time, this scam artist on the phone the whole time saying, get this money, convert it into gift cards, eventually, I assume, wanting to come collect it or have it delivered to him for $2,500, man. It's gross, to be honest. It's gross. And part of the reason I put this story in is because I feel like this audience here, we have grandparents, right? We have older people in our lives. We have the people in our lives that are the potential targets for this stuff. And by putting this story out to this audience, they can have the conversation at least. They can say, hey, look, they can go to their grandparents or their parents possibly and say, this is how it goes down. This is the scale of it. Next time, if somebody calls you with anything like this, call me directly. Make themselves accessible. Right? It seems like an old-fashioned approach. I mean, you're saying a startup needs to figure it out. That'd be nice as well. But I think, it's tough in this case where the group that's being targeted is so old to begin with. Like, they're over 80, the ones who are getting hit the hardest. So are they going to even find out about this startup? Are they going to install an app on their phone? Like, it's probably not going to happen. So it's got to come from a place that they trust. And those people might be in this audience. So you have the conversation because it's obviously working for these scammers and they're going to keep doing it so long as it keeps working. So get on the phone, call your granny right now. After this is over, call your granny and tell them you're on patrol for them. And if anybody wants personal info from them or money from them or anything like that, to call you because it's probably a scam and these dudes are being way too successful. And I'm not happy about it.